you talk about guys like Patrick Mahomes looking for slights, everybody generally talking about how great they are. I think picking him fourth best player in the NFL last year after he won a Super Bowl with the roster that we had, we should say thank you to the players and anyone who voted him to not be the top player, because it can be tough for him to find doubters. But luckily with social media, you're always going to find those people.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank. If you're thinking about starting a business or know someone who is, check out Emprise Bank's SBA loans. It's always good to know your options, and they can be your partner in possible.
What up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome to 10 Things, presented by our friends at Mission Taco Joint. I'm BJ Kissel. Appreciate you for hanging out with us on Saturday afternoon or Sunday, depending upon when you're listening to the show. Maybe Monday, but hope you're out there having a great holiday weekend for Labor Day. And if you're traveling, hopefully it's safe. Hopefully you're having some fun, enjoying college football, being back with the NFL season beginning on Thursday with the Chiefs and Ravens. Lots to look forward to. Which kind of leads me to what this show is going to be about. It's going to be a shorter podcast. At least that's the goal as I start this show. But idea is just kind of 10 things that I'm looking forward to for this season. There's been so much content about the roster, the minutia, the Samaje Perine being added, even Bailey Zappi being added to the roster. You can get a lot of those breakdowns across the network with the KC Lab guys, the Only Weird Games guys, that football show, obviously Haley with Chiefs News Daily, the Amateur Hour guys are back. Got Sean Barber, Dustin Colquitt, got the whole squad ready to go to start producing content to keep you informed and have you enjoy this historic run. It's a hell of a run. Hadn't happened yet, but this historic run at a three-peat for the Chiefs. So before we get into the 10 things that I'm looking forward to for this season, one thing that if you're looking forward to tacos, you should look forward to calling or going by any of the 3 locations in Kansas City, talking about Mission Taco Joint. It's great food, even better people. We've partnered with them, not just obviously to sponsor the show, but for our Feed It Forward program with the KCSN Foundation. We partnered up with them to provide monthly meals to the Hope Faith Ministries downtown homeless shelter. We've done that for the last couple of years with Mission Taco Joint, and we had the program before that. But overall, we served more than 5,000 meals to the homeless shelter and different programs around Kansas City with the Feed It Forward program. It's one of just 6 programs that we do with the foundation. Not possible without having companies, businesses, restaurants like Mission Taco Joint wanting to support and give back to the community. And that's what it's all about. We do a lot of these things through our foundation. One thing that we do throughout the year to raise money for the foundation is our golf tournament. I'll have more on that here in a little bit, but it is next Saturday. So if you golf and you've got nothing going on next Saturday and you want to come out and golf a little bit, help us raise some money for the different programs that we have and have a hell of a time. More information on that later. But let's get into the 10 things that at least I'm personally looking forward to this season from the Chiefs. First one, again, this is all high-level stuff. You're not going to get a lot of the detail that you would on the rest of the shows, and that's kind of the idea. But let me know in the comment section or let me know on social media if there's any big storylines that I'm missing. But number one, I'm just looking forward to history being made. I mean, we are talking about a chance to do something that has never been done in the history of the NFL. And I'm a wet blanket when it comes to appreciating this era of Chiefs football, because I'm old enough to remember when it wasn't like this and old enough to remember the other side of it. I think a lot of younger Chiefs fans I probably don't have as much patience for, hopefully out there. People might feel the same. Hope I'm not a jerk about it, but young Chiefs fans, I'm talking like 18 to 20, they don't know any different than all these championships and Patrick Mahomes and this high-flying offense and all this. And other Chiefs fans that are in their early 40s, we remember the fact that we have the NFL record for most consecutive playoff losses. Not just that, a lot of those were in very brutal fashion. So to be in this position, there's nothing but gratitude and just appreciation for our team here in Kansas City, not only having this level of success, but having the greatest football player to ever live be right in the middle of his prime. Be giving back to the community the way he does, the way that he and his family do things around Kansas City. It's just, we're very blessed. And the fact that we get to watch them chase something. And we use the word legend a lot, and GOAT is used all the time with hundreds of people. But when it comes to being able to say that you've done something that, again, never been done in the history of the NFL, winning 3 Super Bowls in a row, and we get a chance to immortalize these players that are already going to go down. They're going to be Hall of Fame players. Talking about Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid. Maybe some others that can get in that conversation. Those are the ones for me right now in the Hall of Fame. But again, they're legends in Kansas City forever. They have a chance to be immortalized in sports as being the one team and the one group of core guys that had been here for this stretch to do something, again, nobody's ever done. And to dangle that carrot in front of these guys when it can be really hard to find reasons to get fired up, to find chips. We used to talk about this with Nick Leckie all the time. Never underestimated an embarrassed professional athlete. You talk about guys like Patrick Mahomes looking for slights. Everybody generally talking about how great they are. I think picking him fourth best player in the NFL last year after he won a Super Bowl with the roster that we had, we should say thank you to the players and anyone who voted him to not be the top player, because it can be tough for him to find doubters. But luckily with social media, you're always going to find those people. But yeah, that's the number one thing I'm looking forward to, is just appreciating this run at chasing down immortalization when it comes to, legend status in the NFL. And we get to witness it. Number two, Patrick Mahomes going nuclear with this offense. Obviously, winning Super Bowls is fun. But as a Chiefs fan, it's a little bit more fun to watch him chucking the ball around, obviously, with Tyreek Hill. High-flying offense, that 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns. I hadn't gotten near that necessarily since that kind of breaking onto the scene season. But you add Hollywood Brown. I know he's injured. He's in his first game. We'll see about week 2. I know Andy Reid said he's coming back phenomenally. They're generally pretty safe with this stuff, and they should be. And the fact that playing the Bengals, very well may play the Bengals later in the season. I don't think you have to play him week 2, even though it's a big game. I don't think you have to force him week 2. And Andy Reid, for anybody who pays attention, is pretty good at holding things back and not showing things, or showing things for a reason in terms of certain plays, certain formations, and obviously just having Hollywood Brown out there. You give more information for them on what things that you might want to do combating their defensive scheme with Lou Enneroma and the success they've had against the Chiefs. Maybe that's another reason to just hold back Hollywood Brown. But either way, you've got Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy. They're going to add some fun back to the Chiefs offense, which it would be fun to see some of the big plays come back, some of the chunk plays, some of the deep throws. We saw it in the preseason, especially seemed like they wanted to tune up Xavier Worthy a little bit in that second preseason game, getting the ball in some different ways, getting the ball down the field. I'm excited to see it. And Patrick Mahomes chucking the ball around behind the back, all the other crazy things that he can do. It makes watching football fun when you're watching the Chiefs. I've joked before that it kind of ruins watching football for everything else, because you just assume and expect quarterbacks to make outlandish, crazy plays. And when that doesn't happen, you're kind of disappointed because you're used to watching some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen. Number 3, and this one, some people may disagree. I've come around on it, but the Taylor Swift stuff, I was never against it. Didn't care either way. It didn't bother me in any kind of way. But I'm here for it now. Obviously, it's not some publicity thing. They genuinely like each other and dating and all that. Okay, I'm happy for him. It's not what we talk about, not what I have an opinion on. I don't know either one of them. But can say that as somebody with a 7-year-old daughter over the last year who's become increasingly obsessed is a strong word, but she's a Swiftie. Taylor Swift clothes. Going to the concert in Miami in October to get out a second mortgage to go do that. But for daughter to find someone that she can look up to and listen to her music, and she knows all the words, she does dances. It is awesome as a dad to see, and you see what she's about, songs and all this stuff. And obviously some of them have some words, but it's pretty awesome to see. And I'm totally here for my daughter getting more into football season because of Taylor Swift. People have talked about it. It's another thing to live it as that actually being something that's real and that's happening. So I'm here for all the Taylor Swift stuff. Put her on TV as much as you possibly want. Get her out there. As long as she's been a fan of the Chiefs, they won a Super Bowl. So we're 1 for 1 with Taylor Swift. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'm actually kind of looking forward to all the non-Chiefs fans complain about it, as if the biggest pop star in the world being at the games is not newsworthy to put her on television. It's kind of funny to see people melt down. But let's move on to number 4. And this is a fun one because it's a fun discussion. And I think it's kind of already started happening I'm kind of on the fence about where it's at. Obviously not a voter or anything like that. We're talking about the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And right now, you've got Travis Kelce's a first ballot Hall of Famer. Patrick Mahomes already a first ballot Hall of Famer. Andy Reid is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And I think we have two other guys currently on the roster that you could start to make that case for. For Chris Jones is the one for this section, or this segment. Chris Jones goes out and is either in the Defensive Player of the Year category or conversation. I think with another Super Bowl and another dominant type year from him, proving that he is just an unblockable player, did it in the Super Bowl last year. I think Chris Jones enters that discussion as going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's different because there's so many dominant defensive tackles throughout the history of the league. It's hard comparing stats and things like that, but you have a three-peat. You are the best defensive player on the field during those 3 seasons. I think it's a big enough window that Chris Jones deserves to be in that conversation. I think it goes into that conversation much more substantially with a big-time season this year. And the other player that, not a lot of kickers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, but Harrison Butker, you look at his numbers compared to, he's up there with Justin Tucker. When talking about a lot of this stuff, Justin Tucker's done it a little bit longer, but Harrison Butker has been absolute nails. And again, throughout this stretch of winning all these Super Bowls, all the big kicks that he has, his accuracy percentage, all those different things. It depends how many kickers actually get into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's going to be a lot easier when you've got 5, 6, 7 Super Bowls and the kind of kicks that people remember. And Harrison Butker has kicks that people remember to do that. And so Harrison Butker, Chris Jones, they win the Super Bowl. I think those two guys from a Pro Football Hall of Fame discussion will benefit more than anyone else because those other 3, I think, are already in it. Some young players that are really good that could go on to have phenomenal careers, but Harrison Butker, Chris Jones, I think solidify that conversation of, hey, this is something real that we got to talk about. All right, the 5th thing that I'm looking forward to this season actually isn't for the season, but it is for Saturday, September 7th. It is the KCSN Foundation Tacos and Bourbon Golf Tournament. Mentioned it off the top of the show. Mission Taco Joint, one of the sponsors of the golf tournament. Come out. You can have some tacos before the tournament. Holiday Distillery, another partner for the tournament. They're going to have drink tents with their bourbon set up around the course. We actually did a barrel pick back in April. It was actually the Thursday night of the NFL draft. We were up in Weston, and we did a barrel pick that Holiday Distillery had donated one of their barrels of bourbon. Then we went through the tasting. We picked it out. They bottled that bourbon up. I think it was 168 bottles of bourbon, and everyone who plays in our golf tournament is going to get a bottle of that hand-selected. It's a soft red wheat Ben Holiday bourbon. It's got the KCSN Foundation logo on it. It's a pretty awesome little keepsake that everybody who plays in the tournament is going to grab one. PXG Golf is going to come out, and they're going to be activating on one of the par 3s with the closest to the pin competition, but they're also giving free golf fittings to everyone who plays in the tournament. So a lot of cool things. There's par 3 hole-in-one contest. There's long drive, longest putt. There's some stuff pregame. There's a raffle with all kinds of cool stuff going on right now. If you're not able to make the tournament, but you want to support what we're doing with the KCSN Foundation, you can find more information on our website or on social media about what we do with the foundation. But if you aren't able to make the golf tournament, but you still want to support what we have going on, then you can buy raffle tickets. We are giving away a Patrick Mahomes autographed mini helmet. Those go for about $1,000 right now. You can get raffle tickets for as cheap as $20. And all that money goes towards the foundation, different programs that we run throughout the year. And then the other prize is actually two tickets to any home Chiefs game of your choice. It's a regular season game. You pick the game. They give you 2 tickets, a parking pass, VIP tailgate passes to the Tickets for Less tailgate. And then you also get a 1-night stay in the Weston Crown Center. So Weston, Kansas City, down at Crown Center, you get a 1-night stay in the hotel. You get VIP passes, parking pass, 2 tickets to any home Chiefs game. You can buy raffle tickets through the KC Sports Network Venmo or Give Butter page. And again, you can find all that information, all those links on our social media page. But golf tournament should be a lot of fun. We've got about 6 spots left for teams right now. So if you're listening to this, you want to come out and golf next week, weather should be great. Plenty of drinks, plenty of food, plenty of fun. We have player gifts, player bags, swag bags, all that kind of stuff. Ask anybody who's been to our tournament before. Everybody seems to have a good time. And this year will be no exception. But for right now, we are going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to finish the 5 things that I'm looking forward to this season. Appreciate you all for hanging out. We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
You know when you discover a new binge-worthy show or a song that you bump on repeat and you have to share it with your friends so they can experience just how awesome it is? That's kind of what it feels like when you discover Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's such an awesome deal. There's no way you can keep it to yourself. Friends don't let friends overpay for wireless. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plan and switch to Mint Mobile. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/KCSN10. That's mintmobile.com/KCSN10. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/KCSN10. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details.
All right. Appreciate our friends at Mint Mobile. Make sure you text the Mint Mobile hotline. Also, just a cell phone that Tucker Franklin carries around. So if you want to text someone during the day, Tucker's said he's had a lot of fun interacting with not just Chiefs fans, but everything we do at KCSN, covering the Royals, covering Sporting KC and the KC Current, plus KU, K-State, and Mizzou. Recording before the K-State game, but I know KU and Mizzou fans got to be feeling good. Pretty awesome that all 3 colleges, obviously ranked, but all 3, KU, K-State, and Mizzou, there's a lot of optimism and hope for all 3 of them about what this season could be for them. So that's a great place to be. And it's a great place to be right here with KC Sports Network. Appreciate you hanging out. And again, listen to this, whether you listen to it Saturday afternoon, Sunday or Monday here of Labor Day. Appreciate you for hanging out and bearing with me as I go through this show on my own. But we've got 5 more things. We're going to go through these a little bit quicker, but 5 more things that I'm looking forward to just watching how they play out this season. And anyone who's ever followed me for a long time, especially with back in when I did NFL draft analysis and did a little bit of that, one of my favorite positions to look at and my favorite, just kind of narratives every season, which young defensive backs are going to step up. And maybe it's because with Steve Spagnuolo, a defensive coordinator, you're going to get some exotic blitzes from some of those DBs. You're going to get free rushers. I know there were stats last year that at least at one point, I know they probably finished near the top, but at one point the Chiefs had more free rushers at a quarterback, meaning unimpeded to the quarterback, which means it was designed great. The timing was great. Just everything about what Steve Spagnuolo does to give pressure is elite. And when you do that and you get free rushers, either the DBs get sacks and get a chance to make a play, or quarterback staring down the barrel of somebody coming at him, and he's got to get rid of the ball faster than he wants without his feet being set off platform, something that's going to allow the defensive back to go make a play on the ball or to do something to positively impact the game. And so the combination of Steve Spagnuolo getting those kinds of plays with young defensive backs who just want to make plays. I'm looking forward to Shamari Connor specifically and Jaden Hicks. Obviously, Jaden Hicks being the rookie. Louis Riddick's talking about him, which, means that internally with Brett Veach and company, there's a lot of optimism about Jaden Hicks and what he can be. He flies around. You saw him in the preseason. He's going to make some mistakes. He's going to fly around 100 miles an hour. He's going to hit somebody. Saw it with Shamari Connor last year, getting his hands on some footballs, that he's a playmaker. I think between Shamari Connor and Jaden Hicks, obviously Brian Cook coming back as well, but Connor and Hicks are the 2 for me that I'm just looking for, like which one of these 2 guys is going to be a fan favorite because of the nature of the position they play in a Steve Spagnuolo defense, that those 2 guys are going to get some opportunities to make plays. And the ball's going to be spread around a little bit more, I think, this year, because last year, L'Jarius Sneed just pretty much shut down one side of the field. And so now, theoretically, there's going to be opportunity for more guys to get their hands on the ball, more guys to make plays. Trent McDuffie's already a star. And so it's like, which one of those young DBs is going to step up and be the next guy? The next one is actually something I'm looking forward to, but in a negative way. It's kind of make me a hater. Well, I don't know how it's going to sound, but I'm looking forward to the in-game interviews with coaches because I know how much Andy Reid does not like doing those things. And I can actually speak from personal experience. It's been a long time. I don't have any information on this other than for 6 years, I was a sideline reporter during preseason. And then during that Super Bowl, the first Super Bowl win against the 49ers down in Miami, I was working as the sideline reporter for the Chiefs radio network. And in both those instances, you get a chance to talk to Andy Reid going into halftime if the Chiefs are winning, was kind of all the rule. If the Chiefs are winning, you could talk to Andy Reid going in. When it was the preseason, I would ask a couple questions. They weren't on camera, but I'd ask a couple questions as he was walking into the locker room. And then after halftime was kind of over, right before the second half kick, they would throw down to me when I was doing the preseason stuff and even the radio, I guess. And I would do a hit saying, I talked to Andy Reid going to halftime. Here's what he had to say. Andy Reid really never said a whole lot. He's either thinking through things, and I'm going to preface it by saying this. I didn't even, as somebody who did media and enjoyed talking with Andy Reid because it was the job, as like a former athlete and understanding what these guys are there to do, I didn't think Andy Reid should be doing those interviews because he obviously didn't want to do it. There's a lot of things going on with football. It's moving very quickly. He calls the plays. So if they're on offense, even trickier, or as soon as they're done, he's got to go in. They don't have a lot of time at halftime. I think most people probably listening to this show right now understand that halftime adjustments is not a real thing. They have time to go to the bathroom, maybe get together with their position group for a few minutes, grab a banana, grab whatever it is, and get back out on the field. They don't have these big powwows during halftime to make these huge adjustments. But either way, the coaches, and Andy Reid, I think he came out and said it in the most Andy Reid way possible, which is he's a team guy. The NFL wants to do this. He's going to oblige. Didn't have a choice. I think they were going to force him to do it because the money comes from TV, and TV wants it. But what TV doesn't know is just because you force them to do it doesn't mean the content's going to be good. So it's going to be very short, probably be respectful, but not say anything at all. And so I'm looking forward to the awkwardness of the sideline reporters. A professional, they're very good at what they do. Trust me, as somebody who knows how difficult that job really is. I'm looking forward to seeing how they handle it. The good news, a lot of the Chiefs games are going to be one crews for CBS. It's Tracy Wolfson. Evan Washburn's done a lot of Chiefs games, and then when they do Fox, and Aaron Andrews a little bit, but a lot of times it's going to be Tracy Wolfson and those CBS crews for the AFC on the Chiefs side. But and they have a relationship. They've been interviewing these coaches. They've been around them a lot, but it doesn't mean that Coach Reid's going to want to do the interview. So I did see that. It made me laugh when I saw his quote, because as somebody who stood there and been in situations where I worked for the team, he didn't have to be nice if he didn't want to. He's always been respectful, great in that way, but doesn't want to do this. So it's going to be kind of funny to watch. So keep that in mind when you're watching him, that there are a lot of things. There are probably very few things he'd least rather be doing than that, if that made sense at all. But all right, next. Not to be a prisoner of the moment here, but I want to know if Carson Steele, when is he going to make an impact? I am not one of those people, and I think if you've heard me, I'm generally positive, not super negative about a lot of things, except when it comes to building players up between OTAs, mini camps, into training camp, and then being surprised when this player creating all this buzz doesn't make the team, because the buzz is created outside. Justin Ross over the last couple of years is one of those players. The Reese Zammit was another one of those players this year that Justin Ross, a lot of his plays were high pointing a ball and mossing somebody down the sideline, and like he's got a chance. Like we've seen him do that. He's done that since college. I want to see him run an option route across the middle of the field at some intermediate level where you can see he kind of moves away from the leverage or so, some instinctual thing. And I've never talked to him. I have no idea. But if a receiver is not on the field for Andy Reid, he doesn't understand the offense. He's not where he's supposed to be when he's supposed to be there. Same thing with Sky Moore. You don't have to be there to understand that that's the only reason that those guys wouldn't be on the field. It's not a physical thing, especially with Justin Ross. He's a physical freak. But when it comes to Carson Steele, I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment saying, I think this guy is going to be a number 2 running back. There's people out there saying that. Samaje Perine, the third down back, is your number 2 running back. Guys are going to mix in. That position gets banged up. Pacheco is going to be that guy. He's even improved, wanting to do more in the screen game. Samaje Perine was a phenomenal pickup. I think most people listen to this network. The guys have talked about it, all the different reasons why that's a positive move. I thought Deneric Prince even had like a great preseason. So Carson Steele making the team is great. There are going to be a few instances throughout the season where Carson Steele has to step up and make an impact. And when that happens, I hope he makes that impact because this kind of like aura of him, the long hair, the crocodile pet, the undrafted free agent dude that just runs people over, white running back, let's be honest. It's just, there's so much intrigue there that's different with him, especially the running style. I said it when we watched his highlights after the draft when we signed him, that he is going to be a fan favorite in the preseason because of the way he runs. That will only magnify and amplify in the regular season if he does anything like what we saw in the preseason. Don't think he's going to go get 500 yards rushing, but a couple of games where Pacheco rolls an ankle or gets banged up a little bit and P. Ryan is in there and somebody else has got to step up and make a few plays. I'm excited to see what Carson Steele could do because you always root for the underdogs. You always root for the undrafted free agent rookies on a team going for this historical three-peat, first time in NFL history. And you've got this, again, played 1 year at UCLA. Before that, he was at Ball State, putting up big-time numbers. Had a great year at UCLA, and then now is going to be taking handoffs from Patrick Mahomes, at least maybe at some point during the year. I'm looking forward to seeing if that can happen because you always got to find one UDFA you root for to make an impact during the regular season. All right, last two questions for number 9 and 10 here. Actually, I put out on social media saying, do you have any questions for me? First one, our guy, Country Boy, said, what would a three-peat mean to you personally and professionally? I think personally, it's going to mean a lot because I'm going to watch the game like with family and being around them. And it's pretty awesome for our kids to experience the success. Although the other side of my brain is like, they don't know the struggle. Like will the fandom be as strong for kids nowadays growing up, rooting for the Chiefs in the way that it was for us growing up, and not this entitled, like, well, it's not a Super Bowl. It's not fun. I had a whole hell of a lot of fun growing up as a Chiefs fan and going to the games and supporting them even when they weren't very good. I still had a great time. It's the reason why KCSN is so much fun now, because we're talking with guys like Craig Stout, Matt Verderam, and Seth Kaiser, and these guys that, I think most people out there know. We've been creating content together for 15, 20 years. Like, we have known each other for a really long time in this space. And so it's just a special thing to be a part of personally. To be a part of it is pretty cool. For 3 Super Bowls, I've been in 3 different environments. For the first one, I was on the sideline doing the sideline reporting, at least the 3 with Mahomes recently. And then the next one, I was sitting at home with the family, at least the one they lost to in Tampa. And then last year's Super Bowl win, it was with the family. And then last year's Super Bowl win was at P&L with my wife and doing a live show with Haley Lewis for Bleacher Report and for KCSN. Which was a lot of fun. So getting to just be in the environment with fans at P&L, with my family at home, being on the sideline with the Chiefs. Got to figure out a different environment for this week. Probably gonna be at a bar somewhere in Kansas City would be fun. But just experiencing it in different ways, I think has been a lot of fun and something that very few fan bases get the opportunity to experience Super Bowl wins in different ways so they can have all those memories. But professionally, it would be awesome. Picking a time like we did to start a network that's heavy on the Chiefs. Obviously, we do other things, but Chiefs a huge part, driving force of our business. And professionally, the Chiefs winning another Super Bowl is great for business. Fans like hearing people talk positively about their team. There's always that faction of fans that are going to want to make things better when they're 16-0. Is like, hey, we could have won these games by a little bit more, and that's just kind of the way that fans are, and it's what makes it great. Chiefs fans, again, the older ones. We have the right to appreciate and fan however we want. Some are insufferable and they're going to go after Patriots fans for all the crap they were talking for so long. And fans can fan however they want. It's just the young ones that don't have a lot of patience for, because you didn't have to go through the mud to get there. But last question, favorite one that I got. This one is from Seth Kaiser asking, who is my favorite KCSN host outside of Craig? Because he knows Craig's my guy. Craig's been one of my close friends since we started at Arrowhead Pride together back in like 2007 or 8, whenever that was. With Joel Thorman gave us both an opportunity. But Outside of Craig, I'm sorry, Seth, but Tucker is my favorite KCSN host. Tucker, over the last 3 years, Tucker and I have had a lot of time together and had a lot of conversations. And KCSN is becoming something because of Tucker's hard work and because of Joel Prestol's hard work, who runs our social media, and everybody is involved. It doesn't work without everyone. And there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes as we figure out a way to make a media company in this tumultuous atmosphere. It's a mess. But figuring out a way to make it work so on the outside, you guys just get good content and you get it from great people all in the same place doing things for our community. There's a very specific plan that we have of what we're trying to be about. And Tucker stepping up and doing what he's done is the reason that we're able to do it. We joke around a lot. We're very sarcastic with each other. But to be real for a minute, Tucker's development has been amazing for KCSN, and anybody who supports KCSN and what we've been doing should thank Tucker, because without his growth and understanding this business, we wouldn't be here. So much of it is not what to do, it's what not to do, and certain things to avoid, and understanding that. I've done this for a long time, so I have a good feel for it. But Tucker understanding it has helped us grow. So very serious answer to end. Didn't know where that was going to go, but that's how I feel. I appreciate everybody for hanging out. This kind of different episode of 10 Things here. Going forward, it's going to be more of a game recap and, superlatives, stats, different things coming away from the game to just kind of arm you to have conversations with your friends and family throughout the week. That's what this show has been about the last couple of years. But this one being a little bit different. Those are the kind of big picture storylines I'm looking forward to following. The history, chance at a three-peat, that this is a season that we will all be telling our kids, grandkids, friends, neighbors, anybody who'll listen to us in the old folks home about a chance that we got to see the Chiefs go for a three-peat or get the three-peat. We got to see Patrick Mahomes play in his prime. So Travis Kelce and Chris Jones and Andy Reid together. The football gods did something right when they put Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes together, and I think even non-Chiefs fans can appreciate it's pretty special. So anyway, appreciate everybody for bearing with us all the way through to the end of this show. Please, if you are into golf and you want to come golf with us next Saturday, please sign up your team. Like I said, we just got 6 or 7 spots left. Don't know if those are going to fill up, but I have 25 teams out there now, so it should be a good time. Hopefully, have some great weather, drinks, food, prizes, contests, swag bags, gifts, all the good stuff. Appreciate all of you for hanging out. Please leave us a review if you like what you hear. People do look at those things, and it does matter. But yeah, appreciate all of you. Just a few more days or Chiefs football. Thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time.